Now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. We live in an amazing country where we get to vote. We get to stuff ballot boxes with how we feel about things and let the one who has the most votes win. Well, what happens when you have a game group and you can't figure out which game to play? We had come up with our own overly elaborate voting system. Now there's a game to pick which game you're playing. And we're talking about game election. This allows you to nominate up to 8 games and then have up to 6 people voting on these to see which ones go. It's a game to select the game. It takes about 5 minutes. It's pretty interesting. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In game election, you can nominate up to 8 games to be voted on at once, and that's what we have here. Then everybody will take their favorite color, up to 6 players, and take all the stacks of cards from that color. Then each player is going to take their cards, and they're numbered 1 through 9. Depending on how many games are nominated, you always take up to the number of games that are there plus 1. So if we were only nominating 4 games, we would hold on to the cards 1 through 5. We would throw the rest out. In this case, we're looking at the most you can nominate, which is 8 games. So we use up to 9 cards. It's always the amount of games being voted on plus 1, and you only keep the cards that are those numbers lower than that. Now, once everybody has 1 card on every game, everyone's pretty much voted, we stop. Everyone has 1 card left over, if you remember, because there's always 1 more card in the amount of games. Some of the cards in their hands might have special abilities that they can trigger now before we flip these over, and they get done in any order. It's just organic. For example, this one, if this one's in his hands, you can choose any game, and that game would win ties. But you have to clean up the winning game. This player has cancel player's vote. They can take any vote off of any game and just take it out without looking at it. But that player who you took out gets your place in turn order. After any of those crazy abilities are done, we then would flip them all up and count the votes. And how they get carded is a yay is a plus 1, a nay is 0. A double yay is plus 2. A veto basically says this is going to be minus points for however many veto cards there are. So if there's only 1 veto card, it's going to be worth minus 1. But if there's 2 veto cards, each of those cards would be minus 2. If there's 3 veto cards, each of those cards is minus 3. But in this case, there's just minus 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, minus 1, which is back to 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Malmu's has 4. And we would do that for all the rest of them. So if you remember, Malmu's had 4. There's 3 really interesting ones here. This one has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, minus 1. So one player really didn't want to play it, but everybody else did. So that would have been an 8. This actually is the one that wins. But look at this one. We have 2, 3, 4, and 2 vetoes. So it's 4 minus 4, because there's 2 cards and 2 of them. So this one gets 0. How about this one? Nope. 2. Okay, now look at this. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 vetoes. 4, that's minus 16. So this guy got minus 14 points. I am so sorry. Nazca Games. Oh my gosh, the nicest guy ever. Emerson just got outed. This is actually a pretty cool game. So that's it. This one would win, and that's how you play. Now keep in mind, 1 deck of this game allows you to play with up to 8 games and 6 people. What I've done is I've gotten a second deck, and I went to Staples and I got some of these stickers. Okay, now these stickers all came in the same colors of the cards. I just found them at Staples for like $2. And what happens is, why I do this is now you can have up to 12 people voting on a game. And now the reason why I had to put the stickers is some of the special abilities, which I'll show you the other ones later, you have to know whose card it is. So it's like, hey, cancel a player's vote. Well, you got to know, is someone green or are they green star? If they both had green, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. So this way, on both sides, on the votes here, when they're face down, you get to see whose cards are whose, and this allows you to play with 2 decks, because a lot of times when I'm doing this, I'm doing it for a big group, and it's like they're trying to decide between the resistance or something larger and things like that. Now let's go over the other couple of special abilities. So if you don't use this veto card, you can swap 2 of players' votes. So if you know somebody really doesn't want to play the game that you really want, you can swap his card out, but that player decides your starting faction or color. This one is, this game loses ties, so you point to a game and say this game's going to lose tie, but you have to set up the winning game. And we saw the other 2 where you can, this one wins ties, and this cancels a player vote. Those are the special abilities. They're very powerful cards, right? They're 2 vetoes and 2 double yeses, so you got to weigh whether you want to play those for the points, or whether you want to hold one of these back for a special ability to manipulate the voting. That's how you play Game Election. All right, well, there is Game Election. So, you should know whether your group needs this or not. Not every group is going to need this. Some groups just always agree on stuff, or if they don't, they have their own system that they like, they've been using, whether it's spreadsheets or online voting or whatever. We've had some systems in the past and they've been fine, but it seemed like we spent almost as much time figuring out which game we were going to play than actually playing the game. Now, it didn't happen all the time. My group typically, for the majority of the time, they come over and they want to play all the hot stuff that I've got. So usually it's a no-brainer. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I really want to check that out. And it's, okay, well, who wants to play this one? Who wants to play this one? Okay. And it's not that bad, but sometimes we will get to the point where there is a split, and we never really had a good way to deal with that. And I really like this. I like the idea that it's quick. You just pass out the cards, nominate some games, vote for them. I like that idea that special abilities, you're either going to hold back one of your double yay cards or one of your veto cards, which are very powerful for a special ability. Like we played this when we were selecting a game last time. I knew my buddy Greg hates deduction games. I brought Think Straight, one of my new favorite deduction games. I knew he didn't like it. I double yayed that. I held back one of my other cards. And when it came time to vote, I played my special ability. I swapped 2 of his cards, one of the ones I knew he wanted to play with, one of the ones he didn't want to play, and we got to play that deduction game. And it was just interesting how that works. It's a game to play the game. I thought it was really good and really fun. So if your group at all ever needs help figuring out which game to play, this is an awesome, quick, fun way to do it, and it's cheap. It's only 10 bucks. And as I showed in the overview, I've made a second deck with some stickers that now we can have up to 12 people voting, which a lot of times is, honestly, more often than not when we have that many people is when we use this. So you buy 2 of these for 20 bucks, and no matter what size group you have, up to 12 players, you can vote on games. And I think that is a cool thing. We have a lot of people. It's like, okay, do we play 2 games? Do we play one big game? If we're gonna play a big game, what is it? One Night Ultimate Werewolf? Is it Resistance? Is it, Panic on Wall Street? What is it? So you have this with more people as well. I think it's a cool idea. It's pretty cheap. It's fun. It's quick and easy, and allows you to spend more time playing games as opposed to scratching your head finding out which game to play. That's Game Election.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.